Have you ever felt like you weren't ready, or have you ever felt like you weren't prepared for what God has been calling you to do? In my own personal life, there's been many situations where God has called me to do something or be somewhere or say something, and I tried to fight it so many times. God kept tugging on my heart. He kept pulling my heart to make me feel like I was led to say something, specifically speaking at specific events for business and things like that. I went in there with a whole mindset of what I felt like I needed to say about business, but God ultimately told me to say something that was much deeper than that. It was my testimony about life. It was my testimony through depression, which led me to entrepreneurship. And as much as I didn't want to share that story, and as much as I didn't want people to know that side of my life, God weighed on me in those moments and made me say the very thing that I felt like I shouldn't say. And I remember preparing for these situations and thinking that I was unready. I thought that I was unprepared. It didn't matter how much I practiced. It just seemed like I couldn't remember the basic things I knew I needed to say about business. But ultimately, what God showed me through that situation was the fact that the business is not the main character. The business is not the main thing. The business was actually the opportunity or the gateway for me to tell people about God and allow people to see the light of God through my life. So there's going to be many situations when you feel like you're not ready or when you think that you're not prepared. But ultimately, what God's will for your life is, or for that situation is what's going to be done regardless. And God prepares you in many ways than one. He prepared me my whole life for those very situations, the situations that I had gone through throughout my life experiences were all designed specifically for me and specifically for those moments. Because when I think about what I said, had I not had those life experiences, that impact or the story in which I told through my life lens would not have been received from the audience that I spoke to. Certain life experiences that I endured or went through has helped formed me into the person that I am today. And we talk about this all the time, like who you are is specific to you as a person. The things that you've gone through, the things that you've experienced is specific to you for a reason. Now, whether you use that to your advantage in a good way or you let self-sabotage seep in, it's completely up to you. But I know that certain situations can leave us in a moment where we're at a pause and we feel like we don't know how to deal with that on our own. But the problem is we're so ready to try to fix things on our own. We can't fix anything by ourselves. We can't do things by ourselves because God is there for us and He's there for us to lean on Him. So if you're leaning on your own understanding, you're never going to get to the point where God needs you to lean on Him. So many times we allow our struggles, our hardships, our challenges, the battles that we've endured, the things that we're overcoming stop us in our tracks. But what it's meant to do is to develop our character and make us into the person that is strong enough for the test itself, that's strong enough for the battle, that's ready and willing to go on the mission with God. If you continue to get into stumbling seasons or seasons where you feel like you're losing or you feel like you're lost, so you don't know what you're doing, and you continue to go in this cycle and you don't run to God, do you know that God is calling you to run to Him? Do you know that He is allowing these situations to transpire and all He needs is for you to lean on Him? And as you continue to go through life, each time that you experience something, God is there for you and He needs you to turn to Him because He is the only one that can fix it. And I know we think we fix things on ourselves. I know we think with time, things will just naturally heal itself or remove itself. But at the end of the day, if you find yourself in cycles, if you find yourself in the same situations over and over and over again, I hate to tell you, but God is trying to tell you something. He's pulling on your heart for a reason. He's shifting your direction for a reason. He's removing situations and people for a reason, and you have to pay attention to it. Another thing is doubts don't stop God's vision for your life. God doesn't care how you feel. He doesn't necessarily care if you're prepared, if you feel like you're prepared, if you feel like you're ready for the task or not. When God needs you to move, He needs you to move. And sometimes we wonder, why is God, asking me? Why me? Why does God seem or think that I seem fit? Why does God deem me fit? But at the end of the day, God knows everything from the beginning to the end. He knows you from before you were here to after. He knows everything that you're going to do and everything that you need to do. So I would just say to let go of control and allow God to guide your steps, because the more that we get in God's way, thinking that we have the plan, thinking that we know, thinking that, I need time, I need to prepare, I need this, I need that, you're delaying God's purpose for your life. You're delaying your calling over your life because you think you know what's best for you. And I can't say this enough. You don't know what's best for you. You've done this your whole life. You've lived your life up until this point, and I pray you continue on. But you haven't made the best decisions in your life already. You haven't made the right turns in your life already. We need God to direct us and show us by our life experiences, by directing our paths so that we can end up where He needs us to be. I hope that it makes sense to you to know that God's plan for your life is so much bigger than your own. And He does not need you to be prepared. He does not need you to be ready. He's preparing you already. The journey and the season and the tests and trials that you experience already is preparing you, whether you know it or not. The situation that you've recently gone through or that you're in currently is preparing you for your next season. The seasons before this, all of that life experience that you had prepared you for today. And so I think that we think that we're in control of our lives more than we know. And in certain ways, yes, like certain things happen because of our own will, because of the things that we do to ourselves. But also God can allow things to happen to shape us and mold us into the person that we are called to be. So with all of that being said, as you go through your journey, as you go through today, as you go through the rest of your life, just know God does not need you to be fully prepared. And sometimes we think we're not equipped, but God has equipped you with everything He needs He needs you to have in order for you to do the thing that you need to do. You're already equipped. It's already in you. It may not look like it's on you, but it's in you. And at the end of the day, the seasons, the journey, the trials, the tribulations, everything is preparing you for your next season. So with all of that being said, I pray that you go through the rest of your day knowing that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.